All right, good morning, everybody. We are live for Friday morning, and let's see what this market is going to bring us today. We've had a couple of news coming out. Let's see what we have here. We have Lyft looking to IPO. Let's see what we have. All right, let's take a quick look at the market as we open. These are hourly. We're going back to the S&P to start the day. And we are coming across this resistance, a little bit overbought, but that can continue to go higher, such as this. So, and now we're crossing over. And let's take a quick look at some of the stocks we have spoken about recently. We have SVMK continue to print higher. Now we're looking at the 5. Upwork, that's a buy setting up at the 6. Now it's broken below some key support levels. So that looks pretty solid. Okay, let's clear up some of these drawings. Let's just look at the numbers. And again, this is something we're looking for, some support level here below the recent sell setup. Below that one, that would be the first initial support as we break through this consolidated area. And now we're looking to follow through. The hourly, again, still looks like it's continued to extend on the downside. Okay, we had some other stocks to discuss. Square, looks like there's some support here, so we'll see how that translates the next few sessions. Etsy looks great, and again, if we can break above this level, particularly above 69, that would really put the short sellers on the defensive, and that would be good for the longs. So hopefully you own some Etsy. There's another entry point that looks to be favorable above the trend line. And some of the other stocks we're watching, SFIX, that looks like it's ready to break out. Looks good. Ouya, this is something we talked about for a while. That's breaking out. That looks like a good buy. We've been talking about right around the green area for quite some time. So, from an hourly standpoint, that was a good buy here, as we discussed previously. AQMS also looking very solid after settling in here, and this should have been an 8 if this was lower than this bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. We were at 7, so the exhaustion from the sellers has gotten close. So now I think we can wait for it to break, or at least settle down a little bit here, and as it breaks out through here, we can long that as well. This was one stock we said we wanted to wait for earnings, and there's a reason. Now that it's selling off, we can revisit that after things settle down a little bit. I still like the company long term unless something completely changes fundamentals, but the technical still looks intact, though it's not as ideal, but it hasn't completely broken down yet. So this could be a good line of support. Let's see how that holds, as we've seen it hold a few times around the 105 below 110. Right? Take a look at other stocks. And they've came out with numbers today. And that's still getting sold at the open. So had a nice open, but some selling came in, and we'll see where that settles. Work is now starting to come down. Nice. This is a nice short for us. And it's still bucking the market's trend. Let's look at some housing stocks, as we mentioned. So Lennar hit that resistance, came back down, and now it's finding some support here. It would have been nice to see it get a confirmation to close above it, but it didn't. So therefore, we have to watch how this support level holds, and if we can get a flip for it to turn positive. So there was no confirmation, and that is a little bit of an issue, but that could easily be overturned once strong buying comes in. And looking at the market, so the S&P is above the 10-day moving average. So let's look at the VIX. We'll see how it holds some support here. That could look like a reversed head and shoulder. And if that's the case, then we can expect the market to pause around this level and come down. So, I mean, it's pretty clear that the VIX and the S&P looks fairly connected. And as the VIX sets up what looks to be a reverse head and shoulder, this market in turn is still looking for the next range. So we'll see who wins that at this juncture. We have some of these stocks that came down and broke through support levels, and we'll see if they confirm it on the downside. These are volatile names, but they tend to have a big risk to reward setups, so it'd be worth picking it up again at a good price. Best, this is a Chinese company that does shipping for Alibaba, and technically speaking, this has come down a lot already. And we'll see if we can find some support. The weekly is looking to reverse the negative trend, so we'll see how that pans out. And let's look at some high-flying stocks for the day. Seal. This is a company we talked about the last few days. After rallying pretty big on March 8th, it's trying to recapture the 50-day moving average. This is AMRS, something we talked about also there 2 days ago when it printed the 9. And since then, it has come down. And let's see how that trade would have been if we took that trade above this box. Continue to hold it. So $2 to 2.5. That's roughly about 25%, 30%. I'm sorry, that's about 20%. All right. So broke through this resistance, and now the next resistance should be 280. So from the hourly standpoint, after we broke through this level, had some confirmation in the hourly, held some support levels. This would have been a good buy at this point, like I said. And we could see that continue to work out from $2 to 250. Okay. Hooyah. Yes, so this is a company that has been doing well. And if you guys have been watching, this was a buy 25, and now it's at almost 29 in a few days. One stock we've been waiting for. And now it looks to create another opportunity to break the high. So this stock looks good. All right, Upwork. Now it's finally starting to really come down nicely. SBMK. A little negative day so far. Still within the trend part of our indicator, so that continues to be okay. Close selling in the morning. And let's look at some other stocks that I've been watching. HYRE, they're coming out with earnings. Oh, they did already. So let's see how this panned out. So yesterday was earnings. And now the stock is up, so that's a good sign. Though it looks like we could get some sort of consolidation first. Maybe back to the 50-day moving average, which could be a good place to get back in or get in if you haven't been involved with this stock before. right? Let's see what else we have here. All right, so all right, so let's see what else is out here. We go on Twitter to see what's going on. Let's look at some of these stocks we spoke about. We're going to Twitter to make an announcement on our video. Make sure people come and visit us and join us. Right. So we are live streaming. So when you guys get a chance to come visit us, like us, please do so. And we'll continue to provide you with our market analysis using the indicators that's helped us and helped me trade this market and using different asset classes and using different time frames, whether it's swing trading, day trading, long term. I think we have a very good indicator that can provide that type of advantage for a lot of traders. So let us know what else we can do to help you with your investing. All right. Mhm. All right, so let's keep watching the market. This market can get out its own way. Selling off a little bit, I think, try to find some support and see if we can bounce off of it. See if there's enough support there. All right, let's see if we get some support around this area today. And again, at the open, that gap could also be filled. So that's the S&P. The VIX is obviously selling off still. And see if there's any turnaround in the 10-year notes. Look at the daily. So that looks like it's going to finish its count of 913.9, 13.9, which is a good setup, and probably see some buying, and that could in turn shift again the market's direction. Let's look at oil. Let's look at gold and oil. All right, so gold is looking to find some support around the 1300 level, around that area, even though it's still stuck in a range for quite some time. That's probably going to take a while to sort itself out. And then oil now breaking above 50, above $60 a barrel. And we've been talking about that for the last few days as well this week. So if you can break above this level, then that is a bullish sign that we could get back to mid to high 60s. Tesla, another company we spoke about. Long term, it has found a lot of support using a trend line. So long-term investors could probably take a stab here and just put a tight stop loss and make sure that if it does turn around and goes negative, that you'll be protected from a big loss. So from the weekly standpoint, this is continue to hold the sell setup that formed back in 2017 and hasn't closed below it, hasn't confirmed below it. So that's a good sign that these buyers continue to, or at least continue to attract other buyers if it's not themselves, continue to keep it supported here. All right. And Netflix, let's take a quick look. So this the stock is oversold from the stochastics. Hasn't been a lot of volume. This at the top of this range. So just because it's oversold, we will find some support. Weekly though, it's turning a little bit, so that's something we have to keep an eye out for. We still continue to miss and break above this upper trend line on a weekly basis, and then we already finished the sell setup, but it's still below this buy setup. So that is one concern. You want to see it break above it. You want to see these buyers show enough strengths versus these sellers, and by the time they exhaust. And so far, that didn't happen, and that's not usually a good sign when stocks have a hard time breaking above the recent momentum trades. So the last time this kind of happened, but this is a little overextended. So that came down. This one finished, so it still took a while to gather strengths, and volume turned down a little bit. So this is a possibility that could happen for this time around. These are the times that this sell setup this buy setup never really reversed again here on a weekly. After this exhausted itself without closing above it or confirming it, then we had another downturn. Same goes here. So this is, like I said, when you want to see it cross above that to see the real strength on a long-term basis. Which is still a big. This would have been just a trade, I guess. It's 10 o'clock. We have another half an hour. Let's look at some other stocks we've been following. SVMK finally decided to turn around and join the party. One-minute chart. We could be possibly getting hit today. 18.5. First price target. First sell. Order should be already in place. If you're watching, you can move it around a little bit. If you're watching it closely, if not, 1850 should be a good place to leave as a sell. That continues to look pretty orderly. Upward continues to break down. This is a short that looks good. Some other pot stocks still very negative. Tilray looks like it's ready to come back up. So that's already printed a 913.9. And even though it broke the support, it never closed below it and it never confirmed. But again, when you get stopped at, it is part of the game. Might as well get stopped out wishing that you own the stock rather than being in a stock and that's getting demolished wishing you were out. So you can always get back. And even if you lost a buck or two, if you catch it the right way, you can make 10, 20, 30 points on top of the stock. So you can be flexible with the analysis and with the execution. You have to have some very good plan and hard orders out there. All right, let's take a quick look at some other stocks. Cron. This is just looking to find a way to reverse this recent downturn. Twitter. This hasn't really gone anywhere recently. I'm stuck at these Fibonacci ranges. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email us or reach out to me, and we'll answer it as much as possible. And if you're interested or curious about how this system works, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to run you some ideas. All right, so let's see what else is out there. All right, so maybe we can. All right, so as follow through the market here. Okay. All right, so we're doing some of our posting on Instagram and Twitter. We haven't been really active with social media, but we're doing this video, so might as well announce it to everybody. And again, if you guys can share it, let me know if you like it, what I can improve on, what else we can bring to you guys. Let us know. Reach out to us in many different ways. All right, so let's see what else we can do here now. All right, see how this all works. I'm not a big social media guy, so it's probably all wrong. How am I doing this? Okay. All right, so there you have it. All right. Now let's focus and dig in here again. Apologize for being a little bit away from charts. Now we can get back in there and look how everything is. Look at how everything is working out. The volume. Let's look at the highest volume. you. What's interesting is Best Buy. BlackBerry, and this is still trying to recapture and trying to get out of this negative trend. There's a lot of work to do. This stock is definitely a lot of work to do. Today's gap earnings announcement was pretty good. So this could try to get this stock to run again. MU, Micron, very similar to NVIDIA. But that's a good looking chart. All right, so NVIDIA is still very slow at this point. DC, Western Digital, and this thing a lot. This is a huge double bottom, long term. Printed at 9 in the monthly, and you can probably see this thing go back up. Probably create a trend line here. So this has some ways to go from a long-term perspective. There's an interesting name here. Earnings were good this last quarter, so Celgene. These are some Fibonacci extensions we applied a while ago, and it did hit the 161% extension on the downside, and since then bounced back. So if we can get through this, then that could be in turn reverse this recent downturn for the last few months. That's monthly. This is the weekly. $94, some support at 91. All right, so let's see what else is out there. Levi's. This has been a nice little range here, roughly 10%. So that's a good sign that it hasn't really broken much more than that. The daily's still pretty early, but let's see. Two, three, four. So this should be a 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We can do the hourly instead. Let's break it above that, and the 3. So this can extend back to 23 and a quarter. Small range, but small upside, but you can push through it if you have enough buying. All right, so we have Upwork. We're going lower, looks good. The hourly is nice, pushing down nicely. And from the hourly standpoint, if we can get below, break below and confirm below 19 on the hourly, then that in turn can fuel the rest of the day, or at least the day, the daily time frame, push it down to low 18s. All right. Dropbox. This is what we're shorts a while ago. Still within its negative trend. So that still looks negative. It is looking to finish up this 913.9. So if we can get a 9 here and the 13's finished, then that in turn could be a good entry point for a buy and flip the trade. If you're still in it, or if you still like it, still like this trade, then that is a possibility. All right, we have another 15 minutes to go, roughly, and continue to see what else we can find here. All right. That's MPK. Let's break through 18 again and push for 18 and a half. That would be nice to coincide with 18 and a half, 18 and a quarter as this pushes above and finishes its count. So as the stock goes higher, it's very important to take profits and keep that in mind. Be less emotional and just be more robotic and systematic when it comes to trading. It's pretty much the best way to trade. It takes away all the emotions and the angst, which is important to keep your level-headed decision-making process. All right, we'll just keep going around and see what else is out there. Some of the most active trades. All right, to Celgene. Above 95 would really 95.30 from this high would really turn the stock around and truly turn the stock around. That would be positive in the weekly, and it'll still be a slow moving stock, but if you're a long-term investor, that's what you want. All right. All right. 10 more minutes before we conclude this Friday session. And it's our first week having a channel on YouTube, and hope that it continues to grow and get some followers that can get value out of our channel. Vale, Vale, AMRS. Right, so let's look at this one. Well, consolidation after it hit some resistance levels. Let's see if we can get that support to hold. And this looks pretty good. You can count on waves if people are wave counters there. So the hourly looks like it can still continue to move above this recent group of sellers and huge volume, so that's a good thing on hourly chart. And as we can see in the 5-minute chart, it's very similar. A lot of volume as the stock surged higher. There's a bunch of 913.9s that you can read and rely on those signals to make trades that are pretty accurate and pretty consistent. Again, these are objective tools, and it doesn't really take much of a. You don't really have to interpret it. It tells you exactly what it is, and there are certain rules you can follow and let the numbers speak for itself. That's one thing I love about these tools that we use. We spent a lot of time in the last 15 years fighting for unique tools that most people don't use. We're of the thinking that you have to go against the grain and be right in order to be profitable, and it doesn't really help when everybody's doing the same exact thing. And so we have to kind of be the opposite, the medicine, what they say, to conventional wisdom, the solution. So So upward continues to see selling. That's a good thing. And SVMK, hopefully we'll continue to see it going higher. All right. Some news coming out of pot stocks March hemp report. All right. So if this is good news, the market the stock should rip, and if it's non-consequential, the stock usually moves appropriately. So let's let the technical speak for itself. All right, let's see if anybody has any questions or anyone has just joined us recently. We're basically just going through the market. Let's see if anybody has any questions or anyone has just joined. All right, let's take a quick look again at the market here. S&P. We can get out of this little pennant on the daily. And let's quick look at some of the counts here. So it's at a 2, and it looks like we can get out of it. We'll see. That's a 5-minute chart. All right, so look at some names. GC looks like it's turning around. It's a big cron. So wait for that to finish its count. D car. This has come down since that nice run. A lot of the hype just came out of it after the that run, and there might be some support here, but this is already towards the end of a full wave count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can count it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's look at the ABC pattern. A, B, C, A, B, C. Let's see if that truly holds. If you can hold the 200-day moving average for a while, that is a good sign. And base out there. And that can get some support from a lot of these traders. Huya, a nice break above this trend line. And if that can follow through, stochastics can get back to the oversold level. The MACD can go positive. And that would be in anticipation of the stock moving higher again. Maybe get to the $35 level. SFX we're watching closely. With the reverse split, we're not really interested in that. Lennar. Housing stocks are showing some signs of reversal here. So again, it's interest rate sensitive. So this year seems to be favorable as the Fed becomes more dovish and bullish by not raising rates. It also signals that the market is, or the economy is a little bit weaker than they would hope for. So that's the downside of that. Okay. Grubhub is an interesting name. Printed on the 9 again here in the buy setup, though it looks very negative. However, the MACD, as you can see here, has a higher low. The stochastics is already oversold. It did briefly touch below and broke this $66 low. However, it didn't confirm it. And so that could be an interesting take here. Let's look at the weekly. It has support at the 200-week moving average. And we can see it stabilize, similar to what happened here, even though it's still a little bit precarious, but that is where you get some of the bigger rewards. But from this standpoint, as you can see how we settled above the 200-week moving average and waited for some of these indicators to turn around and turn positive. So that is an interesting name going forward. It's already come down a lot from from its all-time high, and there could be some value on a trade against this trend. So this is still early. Again, it's within the trend part of the indicator, so that would most likely not hold. And just the daily looks like it can continue to bounce off of here. All right, so this is an interesting name. Keep an eye out on this one. This kind of broke out of this little hourly intraday base, so that is a good sign, and we can possibly get a nice run back to at least 73 or higher. Let's clear out some of these. Let's clear them out. We don't really need them right now. But yes, there's a lot of action that took place around here, and at least the selling has subsided a little bit, even though we broke support. And some of these are just shakeout points. Big institutions can really drive a lot of people out of the market. So that's something to keep in mind, that even if you got stopped out, if it does look good, you can always go back in. And though it's initially, again, it's terrible to get stopped out. However, it is it's a necessary step that you have to go through. So again, taking the emotion out of it, after seeing a buy setup here, that could be a tempting place to enter. And it's not a bad place because, again, using the rules, you could put a stop loss somewhere. 67, 65, that's $2. $2. 68, let's say $2.50. Let's say $3 to give us more space. So 62.5 would be a good place to put a stop loss. That's a 10% downside. 62.5. So it's not bad risk to take. And the upside, probably get, this will be the initial point of resistance. Again, this might take a while because this is a big and expensive stock, but it'd be well worth it if you take a trade around 68, 67, 69. From an intraday standpoint. At these levels, I think it's a good buy. So this is right around 68, 69 is a good buy. I don't have to wait for this any further. So $10 in the upside. Possibly get $9 to $10 in the upside, and $6 in the downside. So that's not a bad risk to reward ratio to take. And again, there could be more upside. And possibly get back to the $88 level eventually. Let's take a quick look at Papa John's. Papa John's do the same thing similarly to the weekly. So never really close above here, but this is where the point where Grubhub looks to be at. Let's look at how Papa John's did. So yes, a reverse trade could be a possibility here. So we can get back to the 200-day moving average on Grubhub. Back to mid to high 80s. So as long as it holds, doesn't close below this for March, and more importantly, doesn't confirm, that's even better. So we're on a monthly basis, a long-term perspective. These set of buyers have so far been with holding this set of sellers. So the count can reset here. 1, 2, 3, 4, especially for the monthly. If it closed below 76, actually this bar 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the bar that is important for this current month's bar to finish. So if we can close above this level, is a very good sign that we're pretty much close to the bottom in a short-term to medium-term basis. So we'll see how that one works out as well. All right, so we pretty much got over 10 minutes above what we're looking to do. So let's take a quick look again, one final view of some of these stocks. That continues to go lower. It continues to go and fulfill the 9 markets. I mean, anything can happen the rest of the day, but let's just look at where we left off the last time. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. And hopefully, if you're watching the replay, hopefully you get some value out of it, and let us know what else we can do to help you on your trading. Thanks again. Have a great weekend, and we'll speak to you on Monday. Bye-bye now.